Sometime during the course of domestication, an animal develops characteristics by which it can be recognized as domestic. However, the change may at first include only a different color of animal's coat, but not the skeletal change necessary for recognition in an archaeological context. Once a skeletal change associated with domestication can be documented, one must assume the species has been domesticated for generations. The early selection was subject to constraints of the human environment and choices of behavioral and physical traits that were important for cultural conditions of the time. Only animals that could tolerate close contact with other members of their species and with people, and were flexible enough to adjust to the quantity and quality of food that was provided, would survive to produce progeny with some of their characteristics. Confinement and life in an environment modified by human activity increases some pressures on an animal while diminishing others. For example, horns of sheep, goats, and cattle may have decreased in size since it was not necessary to combat other males during breeding. Changes in proportions also occur with the domestication and involve the reduction in the size of the brain and shorter snouts in pigs and dogs. Relatively short snouts and high foreheads of domestic pigs contrast markedly with the long snouts and straight profiles of wild boars. An explanation for this decrease in size is that when animals were first confined in limited enclosures, they did not receive high-quality foods in adequate quantities. When it comes to survival in times of food shortages, smaller-sized animals have an advantage since they require less food to satisfy their needs. Some changes to bone morphology are pathologies that result directly from specific animal husbandry practices. They can be manifested as arthritic conditions on legs that have been shackled or vertebrae that have borne the weight of riders. Tethered animals often exhibit injuries to the lower leg. On the other hand, certain pathologies may indicate care and protection by humans. Evidence are seen in the healed fractures that occur among the skeletons of dogs and domestic animals. Healing of these injuries indicates that care was given to the animal for the period of time it was incapacitated. Healing fractures are also observed in wild animals, but they are definitely more common among social animals.